squeeze it in. I don't have all the answers, but I try not to make them up if I don't know. My name is Bob Bandolini. I'll be with you for the 75 minutes we share out here this morning. A little chill in the air, but it's a pretty nice day for April. Before we leave the dock, I must give you a brief safety announcement. The Wendella Limited, it's licensed and inspected by the Coast Guard. The vessel meets and exceeds all safety requirements. Modernist steel box and I-beams, so they use modern materials, but influences from both Greek and Roman architecture and a few other things to spice up the style of the buildings. Brand new modern buildings hard to pigeonhole today. The emphasis is on the environment, energy sustainability, and we'll see a few examples of that. As we leave the dock, did you know Chicago, home to the first skyscraper ever built anywhere? Home Insurance Building, 1885, it's no longer here. It was considered the first skyscraper because it's the first time they used a steel structure to build upon, and naturally the use of the elevator invented by a gentleman by the name of Elijah Otis. That there are markers in the sidewalk indicating exactly where the fort was back then. Chicago is known for a lot of things. Beside the first skyscraper, we're home to the Chicago-style hot dogs and deep dish pizza. I'm a little more expert in that area than I ought to be. We're the home of the blues, and hey, we're the home of the President of the United States, by the way. Our President, Barack Obama, lives on the south side of the city in an area near the University of Chicago, Hyde Park, Kenwood, designed by Mr. Mies van der Rohe. He's considered the father of that type of architecture. No non-essential decor on modernist buildings. Use of modern materials like steel and glass and the I-beams. The late 50s through the 60s into the 70s, buildings like this all over our city and around the world, actually. Mr. van der Rohe had a motto: less is more. He became the Dean of Architecture here in Chicago at the Illinois Institute of Technology. He was from Germany, came here in 1938. Part of Eureka now. Chicago's Western River Hotel right here. Look ahead, right on the river. Bruce Graham for Skidmore, Owings & Merrill designed it. You'll hear more about Mr. Graham also. Flatwater Restaurant. Last week when we had exceptionally warm weather here, a lot of folks sitting outside enjoying lunch and later dinner. In season, you see boaters tied up there. If we were going to take this tour, hey, I'm talking here. If we were going to take this tour 100 years ago, this would be more representative of what we'd be looking at, Chicago warehouse style. A great example of what is called adaptive reuse. A gentleman by the name of George Nimmons was the original architect in 1914. It was a grocery store warehouse. Today, Fulton's takes up 2 floors. That's fine dining. From 1955 to 2002, a lot of Chicagoans didn't want to go to that building. Do you know why they didn't want to go there? You can't hear me. That was traffic court here in Chicago, so we didn't need to visit it. Another modern skyscraper just completed last year, Aspen Trump Tower, is 300 North LaSalle. The architects are from New Haven, Connecticut, Pickett and Chilton. This is a LEED-rated certified building. LEED, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. For example, they use Chicago River water to air condition the building. An extensive green roof at the top helps mitigate water runoff.